New Jack.
New Jack City.
When I think of New Jack City, terror.
It was a blast.
Getting asked to do a movie and not being an actor.
This ain't business, bitch. This is personal.
So amazed at how many people actually were affected by the movie.
This is the American way.
Knowing I was getting ready to put my rap career on the line.
Everything was right with New Jack City.
Can't believe they paid me for it.
It's not a black thing. It's not a white thing. It's a death thing.
I was scared.
It was a good time.
What we wanted to do was an organized crime gangster movie with a hip-hop, what we used to call back then on the hip-hop tip. And we wanted to do a non-linear story, and we wanted the cuts to look more like the music videos and stuff like that. And Mario was very much with that concept.
Well, New Jack City was a tough shoot. Now, we were in New York, and it was my first feature, and you know, as a first-time feature director, and I had been directing Jump Streets and Wise Guys. I'd been working with Clint Eastwood on Heartbreak Ridge, and Clint had taken me over to meet the Warner Brothers hierarchy, so I met Terry Semel and Bob Daly through Clint, so Clint really was my connection in, and he was real cool. He was like, hey, man, you know, be all you can be. So I thought to myself, I said, I got a chance now to direct a gangster picture. I'm gonna put all the flavor in this.
I need some New Jack cops to take down a New Jack gangster.
What was fresh about New Jack City was it was a movie you'd never seen like this before.
You must think I'm a demon, huh? Business fight. Wasn't personal. My brother, it's always business. Never personal.
There hadn't been, up until that point, a real packaged urban gangster movie. I think it was a predecessor to all of these hybrid films where you're bringing the music component into it and you're marketing the music as well as the film, or using the music to market the film. I think that was something that was rather unique at the time, to bring the two together.
What would it be like if that brother had one turntable and put Scarface on it, and the other turntable and said, I'm gonna put Untouchables on this bad boy, and I'm gonna take these turntables like a DJ and mix this shit like you ain't never seen it before. That was New Jack City.
Mario had his hands full on this one. You know, he was about to take an army into Harlem and shoot a movie about drug dealers and gangsters. And Mario is not really a drug dealer or a gangster.
I think the real beauty of all of that was also Mario's youth, his desire to be as creative and be as honest with the story. So he was kind of exploring and trying different things and, you know, having all these different ideas.
1,500 hours. Suspects hand out consumables, and the natives are restless.
Yo, shut the fuck up, man.
What I knew with New Jack City was the immediate problem was that crack is and was a killer in the black community today.
Times like these, people want to get high. Real high and real fast. And this is gonna do it.
It spoke against the use of drugs. It spoke against greediness,
Money, you been making money out the side of the family yet?
envy,
Hey, Nino, man, you need to go get your girl.
the betrayal.
Boy G Money tried to cut a side deal with me.
So I think all of those things helped make it unique, coupled with the fact that it was like a smorgasbord of different types of performers from the African-American experience. From the old Nick Ashford all the way down to the cats like Chris Rock and Alan Payne, who was like, yo, I'm from the streets and this is my game too. It was very, very unique.
I went to Wesley Snipes with the producers, and we said, hey man, here's your chance not to be the funny guy, not to be the best friend of the white guy, but to be the guy. You're gonna be our Black Pacino. You're gonna tear this up.
I was kind of looking forward to doing a piece that was an urban version of maybe Scarface or The Godfather, Once Upon a Time in America. You know, that's the impression they gave me. That's the kind of project we were working on, something comparable and equal to that kind of drama.
We wanted to do a movie with Wesley, and we wanted to do this gangster character. And we were fascinated, so we set about getting this done. And I never will forget us taking Wesley to dinner. We said, Wesley, we got something for you, man. Please do this for us. And Wesley said, I'm down.
George and Doug, you know, of course they gassed me up to make me believe that I was the next second coming to the wheel, you know? It's like, you the nigga, you the one, you the one. This is you got it, you got it. I was like, really? Wow, yeah, I think you're right. I can do this.
We will own this fucking city. You's a genius, man.
People don't understand, Wesley is so multi-talented. He can act his ass off, he can do comedy. He's the bomb.
Boy controls the whole place, man. Yo, Nino Brown's a mad scientist, man. What did Marvin say on that album? The boy that made slaves out of men. That's Nino.
You're talking about trying to do something on par with Coppola and Scorsese. Come on. But, you know, as it turned out, didn't have to be on par with them because it was our own thing. It was a New Jack thing.
The world is yours, Nino. Only you won't be as careless as Tony Montana. Now, will you?
You're absolutely right.
Went, studied the films of some of the old gangster movies, and then I went and hung out with places. You know, I had a couple of friends who did a couple of things, and they knew a couple of people. So they took me to watch a couple of people do a couple of things. Sit down and talk with those people about a couple of things. And they showed me a couple of things. I was like, wow, the things that's going on, you know? And that's how I got my research.
We had no idea who he was, to tell you the truth. He wasn't, like, Wesley was the least famous guy on the set at the time.
You know, he comes in, he got his script in a book that folds up and it zips and it opens and he's got notes next to his shit he wrote down, and I'm like, should I have notes?
So we sit down for that first read-through, and Wesley Snipes reads his part, and then you kind of realize, oh shit, we're gonna be in a hit. Oh shit, Barry Bonds is here. We might win the pennant. As soon as I saw that guy reading, I was like, oh, this guy's for real.
Sit your $5 ass down before I make change. And if this dreadlock Bumbaras even blinks wrong, you lullaby his ass. Damn. Crap.
Wesley carried the movie. He's focused. And he's such an actor. He's so down. You know, people come to me today, they say, yeah, you beat Wesley's ass. I'm like, yo, that was in the script, dog. And a real actor, he can give out an ass kicking and take one.
When Wesley has to kill G-Money on the roof, that shit, yo. It's Wesley Snipes.
I'm on the run, G. We can never go back the way it was.
I got together with Wesley at his house in Brooklyn before we shot the film, and we rehearsed certain scenes. And we tried to rehearse that scene, but it didn't feel right. It didn't feel right to him, it didn't feel right to me, so we just kind of let it go.
They came in, they said, yo, Mario, this is how this scene is about to happen. And they acted it out in front of me and Chris Rock. We were like, what the fuck is going on?
Me and Doug talked about the way the end scene was written, which was written much differently, and I pinned it out. Bang, 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 you know, and tried to bring some of that classic Greek tragedy, those conflicts of friends and brothers, you know, to this piece.
CMB, man, we all we got.
I think Nino wasn't just killing G-Money, he was also killing that part of himself that had failed. So he was thinking about, how do we make this right? If I gotta keep running, then I'm dead already. But at the end of the day, I can't leave you because you know you might be left to the wolves. These are all classic warrior honor things. So he had to do them. That's the code.
Yes.
That's the kind of role where that's the linchpin role. That's the thing, the engine, really. You got to have that kind of bad guy to make the pain and suffering for all these innocent people so great that you have to turn to marginal cops to solve it. So we need that. Nino Brown and Wesley was outstanding.
In furthering our identification with what the crime had to do, with why shouldn't you sell these drugs to your people, I had to find someone to play the victim, to humanize that victim. And so I said, who can I get to be our crack addict so you can see the effect of what this drug does to us? right now in the street, what it does to us.
They called me up just to audition. I went through auditions, and you know, they had no money, so you know that was good for me because I wasn't really that famous or anything at the time.
I want you to get turkey, man. Look at your funky black ass.
He played the shit out of some Pookie, man. He really did. And the thing about Chris was that I knew Chris could do the comedy. He had that whole kind of, you know, that rhythm, you know.
Pardon me, yo, man, why don't you lose somebody? You look like a ball of yam with a belt around it. Come on, man, yo, pardon me.
And so I know he could do the comedy, but I was like, could he get inside that drug addict persona? And I had to work with Chris on it.
Your mother. Mario was great, man. Mario, you know, no one's ever worked with me that intensely, like, and you know, he really taught me a lot of acting things that I use today. And just taught me how to relax and really feel the scene, and you know, just told me movies to watch and characters to study.
A lot of the stuff where Chris was doing his thing, I wound up doing MOS. MOS is without sound. Because the early film directors lost their power when they went to recording what they called talkies. Look to the light, do this, boom, boom, he can talk to you, or she can talk to you. Well, you could do that with actors when they weren't recording sound. Now suddenly you're recording sound, the director had to shut up, and the actor just took it. So I went back to the old days. I said, I'm gonna have all his dramatic stuff, Chris Rock's dramatic stuff, be without sound, so I could talk to him. So if you go back and you look at New Jack City and Chris delivers a hell of a performance, I had all his dramatic stuff be without sound, so I could talk to him. I said, feel the crack, look out the window, feel the energy, I want more of this, more. I could talk to the brother and get it working. Later on, I laid in the music, put in his voice, little sound effects, good to go.
I try to kick, man. Should just be calling me, man. Be calling me, man. I just gotta go to it. Whenever I'm on stage, you know, whenever I'm on tour, man, Pookie, wherever I go, drug dealers, I'm telling you, from the time that movie came out to today, will constantly give me drugs. I used to get fucked up, man. Crack a barrel, crack a ass. I didn't give a fuck what it was in the pipe.
I got it.
They offer me drugs, or some guy will slip like some coke in my hand or some weed in my hand. Pookie, that's for you, Pook.
What I try to do as a filmmaker is look at the casting process with an open mind and say, how can we go about this? And just let the person come through the door who's gonna inhabit this role. Let them take it over.
Little junkie just like you. Killed my mother back in 1974. Didn't take no money, didn't take no jewelry. Just pow!
I was at a club one night and I bumped into Mario Van Peebles. He said he heard me in the bathroom. Somebody was on the outside of the toilet and I was talking shit. And I said if they could put me under a microscope and find one molecule in my body that gave a shit, then they could angle me. And he liked that. He said whoever said that's gonna be in my movie, and it happened to be me.
What I said when I did New Jack City was like, man, if it just plays like Scarface, and I love Scarface, that's problematic, because if you want young folks to say no, you better give them some role models to say yes to.
But the whole idea of a hip-hop cop, that shit, a hip-hop cop, let's just take culture and put it on the good guy side. It's always that anti-hero, but our anti-hero was not selling dope. Our anti-hero was trying to get the dope off the street. And I will forever be thankful to Ice-T for that, because he was the right counterbalance. Because I don't know what else we could have done opposite Wesley. Because if I'm watching that movie and I'm a kid, I want to be Wesley. But how can we make that decision not the right decision?
He's back, goddammit, I'm a cop!
I didn't know why they wanted me to play the cop. But in the end, I figured it out. It wasn't so much finding somebody who could play the cop. It was somebody who could go undercover next to Nino and be believable. So they went for somebody who was more of a real-life hustler, and then they made me act like a cop earlier. I didn't know that till the movie was over.
Ice-T is the package. This guy was from the street, and he told it the way it is.
So I was kind of impressed with his charisma and the charm, the dynamics, you know, and his spit, you know, the way he spits and the way he talks.
Yo, hold up, homeboy. You want to meet the main man, that's dumb. Now, if you deal, you're dealing with me and me only. What's that?
I was like, yeah, I know cats like that. I like that.
Ice-T was kind of, you know, almost a co-director in a sense. He doesn't really get credit for it, but Ice-T was the guy who was closest to the streets while we were doing the movie.
And I wasn't so much a co-director, but I could advise them on stuff because it was a movie about gangsters and hustlers and street shit, and these cats really ain't from that.
You from the neighborhood? I can trust you. And I know you give a shit. So what's the catch?
The acting kind of came naturally to him. I mean, you know, Mario worked with him, and, you know, Doug and George worked with him, but his persona was so perfect for the part.
I didn't know how to prepare. I never acted before. You know, I'd done music videos where you had to play out roles, but I didn't know about lines. I didn't know about marks. I didn't know acting terms, motivation, what is this, what is that. I just figured I'd read the lines. And if I was doing it wrong, they would tell me what to do.
I remember my first day on the set in rehearsal. Ice-T came to me and he said, man, I know you're an actor. I can't act. So if you see me do anything wrong or if you have any suggestions about what I'm doing, you know, feel free to just come in and just let me know, you know.
You get your first movie, you think you're gonna get a line, not the whole damn script. So I was like, I don't know if I could do this. They're like, you can do this, don't worry about it. You could do this. So I went, I tried it, I took the risk.
You are now about to witness the strength of street knowledge.
I said, okay, what I want to do is do this dope opening shot with the helicopter and the gyroscope onto the 59th Street Bridge. That's what I want to do there. I put my money there. But so right away to the audience, she said, no, this is not just some little bitty ass, weak ass gangster movie. Sit back, we coming at you, boom, boom, boom. So the minute that opening shot, folks are getting ready to eat popcorn, like, what?
So this is the 59th Street Bridge. And this is where we did one of my favorite shots. It was the opening of New Jack City. And initially what happened was the studio was like, why don't y'all use some stock footage? Just get some stock footage of New York City. I was like, no. I don't want to shortchange the audience. I want to let the audience know right away from the get-go that this is a gangster picture to be reckoned with. So what I said was, I wanted to do a shot on the 59th Street Bridge with a helicopter where we had a gyroscope.
But now you can see the whole bridge, the city in the background. Our guy was actually hanging on the south side of the bridge because we approached it from the other side, but this gives you the idea of where it is in relation to the city.
And in one shot, the helicopter would come in, and you'd go to Dudutta Man hanging over one of his drug dealer friends over the side here, waiting for Nino Brown. So in one shot, you go past the Statue of Liberty, past New York City like you've seen it before, in, and you think, oh, this has got to be stock footage, and then bam, you come right to Dudutta Man. He's hanging homeboy over the side with his feet right here dangling off. And then I go to a close-up of Nino Brown's feet as Nino Brown comes over and they look down.
Nino, please! Oh, don't start bitching up now. You don't have my product, and you don't have my money. You gotta give me another chance!
And then as he drops him off, he says, see ya.
See ya!
We don't want to be here.
And I wouldn't want to be here.
Why don't we do this reasonable? 14K, bam, I'm out.
You want to do this correct or not, man? 17, man.
The original script of New Jack City had this big-ass car chase in the beginning, and Beverly Hills Cop had come out. And so we couldn't, they had upped that cinematic ante to, you know, they must have spent $8 million on the car chase alone. So how are we gonna do this? The movie starts out with, you know, Pookie being chased by Ice-T in a car chase. I mean, a big-ass car chase. You know, I was like, oh, wow, that's gonna eat up my whole budget right there. I said, let's take the car chase and squash that. Let's rewrite that. And we reworked it as a bike chase. So the sort of French Connection meets Diva. I said, so let's take that notion of a guy riding a bike down these steps and rework this thing. So you look at French Connection, look at Diva, combine the two, and you get the New Jack City Through the Hood bike chase. So take what they have seen, the audience has seen a lot of great car chases, take away that and put in something they haven't seen, make your weaknesses your strengths.
Now that looks like a long scene on the film. Trust me, that was the marathon. That was at least 26 miles of running, because every length of that, we ran at least 5 times. And by about 6 hours into the day, I think I had pulled both my ass muscles, my feet were hurting, and I'm like, fuck this. I'm like, give me somebody that can run. As long as, let me run away. If whoever's running away from the camera, if I'm running away from the camera, get my stuntman in. So me and my stuntman bonded at that point, and I realized how necessary they were.
Lots of stuff happened, but it was, I mean, we had to change actors sometimes. We lost locations. We were supposed to shoot indoors one day for this whole turkey giveaway sequence, and we lost it. You know, my producer came over to me, Preston, said, we lost the location, we can't get in. And it's one of those things like, you know, what do you want to do? I'm like, hey, I see the turkey giveaway scene happening on the street, right here. Matter of fact, it's happening right here on 135th Street, right here. This is where the Nino Brown turkey giveaway is gonna happen. So we put that sucker, it was not written to be on the street. We put that bad boy on the street to do it. And then it started to rain. He said, what do you wanna do? I said, hey, I see the turkey giveaway happening on the street in the rain. Where are the umbrellas? Go down the street, we bought some umbrellas, you know? God gives you lemon, you make lemonade.
116th Street right here. And this building was known in our movie as the Carter. Of course, really, it's called the Graham Court, but we changed all that. Pan up to the top, man. Check out that arch. Beautiful architecture. They don't make buildings like that anymore. And that's another thing that I wanted, was this feeling of the sense of decaying Gotham, but with the old structure there now re-inhabited, and looking at the grandeur of where we were and where were we now. Our character, Nino Brown, takes over this whole building. Right over here, right about over here, we had the brothers come together and do this for the montage where you see Nino's whole empire growing. And so they start singing right here, Morgana. I did a Luma Crane shot right here. The Luma Crane comes, goes past them, and they sing, in a New Jack City. Boom, goes up, cranes up. As it cranes up, you see all the stuff that's happening. We get into the whole montage of everything that was happening in the movie, how the drug business is going, how he's improving the system. And then, at the end of that shot, we start to crane back down, again, Luma Crane, tilt down, and there's snow. And we had artificial snow from about right where that brother is selling stuff to about right over here. We had all artificial snow out here, just coming down. So it was one of those nice lyrical moves. Up, montage, come back down. And I tell you a funny story. It was right on the street that Ice-T came over to me one morning. And I always thought, well, Ice-T early in the morning, he wouldn't sound like Ice-T. It was like 6 or 7 in the morning. And I said to Ice-T, I said, how you doing, partner? He said, brother, Van Peebles, I'm good. I got a new name for your movie. We got to call the movie Killing Up Shit and make a sequel to this motherfucker called Killing Up Lots of More Shit. And I didn't know if Warner Brothers was going. I thought the title New Jack City was probably going to be what they wanted, but I said, okay, brother, I'll be advised. Other sequence. Pan over the street here, my brother. G-Money comes out. Fat Smitty's doing the drugs right over here. G-Money, remember that sequence?
Yeah. Come here, man, Mr. Bigwitch. Rasta man, I'm here to tell you Nino Brown says your services are no longer needed in the community.
She comes out right here, goes, steps to him, and Fat Smitty goes, what the bumble clock? And she goes right to, and boom! What I did there was to really get the audience in the mindset of a cat being shot, was I put the camera on some sticks right here, brother, and when Fat Smitty dropped, I dropped the camera. So it was the first time that the audience was like, wow, why did it have such impact? It's because you're taking the whole audience and you're dropping them on their head. So I had it right here, so when Fat Smitty drops, it comes right at the same time, and boom, that's how it hit. And then G-Money's in there. That's how you kill a nigga, my brother. In broad daylight. It dries off right there. Well, we got some New Jack City fans out here, kid. This was Grant's tomb. This is where we shot the big wedding sequence with Keith Sweat singing right up here. All the wedding folks up there looking in their Godfather best, nice cream pastel. And what I wanted to show there was the sort of relationship between the gangster and the community. That here you have a gangster who's got ties to the community, he's got real ties, and he's in essence funding a wedding. But at the end of the day, that funding, that relationship with the community brings about death. So we have the caterers pull up over there, and as you look closer at them, they turn out to be the whole Italian contingent that's involved in the underworld, just like Nino Brown is. And you know that at a certain point, Nino's got to get his comeuppance. Meanwhile, there's a little girl. She was at the wedding. We saw her zipping in and out. We sort of photographed her, sort of hanging the gun on the wall. She comes down the steps, and right about here, she drops a piece of the wedding cake.
Crazy, man. I ain't gonna girl out right there. That's your girl.
And then she comes back because she realizes she forgot the piece, and she comes back up. Nino Brown is coming here, and I wanted the whole thing to get to the slow motion, like that kind of underwater vibe, slow motion. Nino comes down and look at this cute little girl. She's picking up her toy. And as he does, he makes contact with the caterers. Big fat boy's over here, he pulls his shit. Bam, 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 bam. Keisha comes running forward like some kind of wild woman. This cat unloads right in her, boom, 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 boom. Stuff is exploding everywhere, everywhere, everywhere. Takes her right here. Instead of protecting her, holds the little girl out as a shield. Boom, 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 boom. Drops the little girl right here. Boom, 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 boom. Meanwhile, Scotty's over here. He takes his shit out. Boom, he comes out. Boom, boom, boom. He's unloading over here. Boom, 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 boom. Grabs up little miss right here and boom, 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 boom. Drops her off over here. Drops her shit. Reload. Comes up with a new clip and has to make that choice as to whether he's going to take out Nino Brown or do it the right way. He decides to go for the book. Comes off Nino Brown. Bam. Lays it down over there. Other thing that was interesting about shooting here was this was the last day of shooting, right here. So we finished shooting the movie, last day of New Jack City. I went over here, and the producers, Doug and George and Wesley and Judd and Ice-T and all of them that were here, took a big-ass cake, put it in my face, put champagne all over me, covered me up. It was my first feature, the first time I directed, and it was great. We finished the movie, 36 days. No one thought we could do it. We did it right here in New York City. And I don't think any of us had an idea that it would be the gangster classic that it's become. And that's because of you guys.
It's the best movie Mario's ever been in, ever directed. It's, you know, Al Payne, none of us. We've all went on and worked and we've done other things, but none of us have done New Jack City again.
I just want to say I thank the fans out there for their long, enduring support of not only myself, but the rest of us artists, and of this film. And thank you for making it a classic. I'm glad to be a part of it. May it continue to be a part of our lives, and may we learn something from it, carry that on to our next generation, and they learn something from it, and so forth and so on.
Am I my brother's keeper?
Yes, I am.
Am I my brother's keeper?
Yes, I am.
Am I my brother's keeper?
Yes, I am.
This goes out to George Jackson, my partner. Am I my brother's keeper? Yes, I am. And so is he.